Hello Algebra 1, it is Mrs. Stites back here to do some algebra with you. Today we are on day 3. We're going to talk about some menu math. Because who doesn't like food, am I right? I love food. It's like my favorite thing. Okay, so here we go. You definitely want a calculator today because everything we do today will pretty much be on the calculator. All right. Basically, what we're learning about today is substituting a number into an expression and then evaluating. And we are going to do that using a menu. So here we have some Tacos El Norte menu items, which is a wonderful restaurant if you have not been. And we have a burrito, a taco, some guacamole, and some flan. And you have the prices. And each letter represents a menu item. All we're going to do is use the menu to calculate the cost of each order. And even though we're going to type everything into our calculator, I do want you to write down and show the work. Okay, can you just humor me with that? All right, so here we go. So B plus G, what do you think that would mean here? Well, the B is talking about the burrito, and the G is just talking about the guacamole. So we're just going to put the burrito is $8.99 plus my guac is $2.99. So that's you showing your work. And then just go ahead and type it in. Make sure you have your decimal. Okay. And we get $11.98, and we do want to put a dollar sign, and our dollar sign goes in front. Okay, we're like the only country that does that, but there you go. All right, so what about 4T? What do you think 4T stands for? 4T stands for just 4 tacos, right? So here are your tacos, and we want 4 of them. So we're just going to take our 4, and we're multiplying it by the number of tacos we are getting. Okay, 4 times 249. And you can either put parentheses, or just put too many, or you can use the multiply button. It does not matter. You're going to get the same thing. And we'll get $9.96. And again, make sure you put a dollar sign for your final answer. All right, so what about number 3? So number 3 would kind of be like if you were getting, I don't know, like a value meal or something. Okay, this is saying that we're getting a burrito, some guacamole, and some flan. Okay, we're getting all 3 of those. But how many of them are we getting? We're getting 2. All right, so again, I do want you to write this out. I know that's kind of annoying, but just go with it. So our burrito is $8.99 plus our guac is $2.99. And notice I have this 2 and then the parentheses. And then my flan is $5.99. And you can type this in 2 different ways. You could actually type it in the way we wrote it. Just be really careful. And I actually want you to type this in as well. Okay, don't just sit there and be like, oh, Mrs. Stites, you've done a great job typing that in. You type it in too. I know how to use my calculator. We need to make sure you know how to use it. $35.94. The other option would be to just type in this part. So do that, and then you can multiply it by 2. All right, and here's a fun trick. Let's say you typed in all of that and you want to do it again. Like let's say you wanted to figure out the price of 4 people getting that meal and you don't want to have to type that all in again. If you have the new operating system, you can just press the up arrow and it'll highlight it. Press enter, it'll bring it back down, and then you can just go in and you can change whatever you want to. And your calculator is faster than mine. So I can change this to like a 5 or a 4, whatever I want it to be. Okay, all right, look at that. All right, so now we're going to transition to some McDonald's. We have a Big Mac, quarter pounder, crispy chicken sandwich, filet o fish meal, and then some different sizes of French fries. First, we want Q plus F. Well, Q is pretty obvious, right? Q has to be the quarter pounder. F is not so cut and dry. So take a look. What's the issue with F? And what you should notice is that there are two menu items that start with an F. However, if F stands for French fries, like you don't really know what price to use, right? Because there are all these different sizes. So what it tells you is that F can't stand for French fries. Okay, F actually has to stand for the Filet-O-Fish, which I have never had. Okay, but apparently it's very good. 29. All right, so let's type that in. And we get $9.58. Again, make sure you put a $sign. All right, let's look at this next one. This is kind of like one of those value meals again. We're getting C, F, and M, all of those, and maybe 2 people are getting them. So C, what do you think that is? I'm going with crispy chicken. F, we just talked about what F meant. F is our Filet-O-Fish. But what is M? Okay, and if you're saying to yourself, oh, M is how we're saying the medium French fry, you are correct. M is the medium French fry. So now we can go ahead and type this in. And I'm going to type mine in the different way this time. I'm going to type in the parentheses part first. Okay, so this is the whole meal, but then I'm going to have to multiply that by 2 because I'm getting 2 of them. Okay, or again, you could just type it all in at once. $23.94. Okay. Number 6. 3B. Okay, B is going to be Big Mac. So we're getting 3 of the Big Mac, $3.99, plus 2S. What do we think the S is? Yep, a small French fry. Plus, that's an L. So look at your menu items again. The L is referring to the large, okay, the large French fry. All right, and let's just type that on in. And notice I'm using parentheses, but you could also just use the times button. That would be fine as well. All right, $16.64, and again, make sure you have a $sign in the front. All right, so number 7 is kind of a challenge question. And I don't remember if that's an A or an E. I don't know. This is why I'm your math teacher. In any case, this is a question that we are going to perhaps have time to talk about in one of our virtual meetings. So you can give it a try right now if you would like. But again, it is a challenge question that we will be looking at more in the future. So feel free to pause the video and give it a go. But I'm going to next few problems. And like I said, we'll talk about that problem in a bit. All right, so the final thing we're going to do is evaluate, but we no longer have the context of a menu. Okay, that context was there to help you get used to this idea of substituting a number in place of a letter. So what we have now is we have just this 18 minus x. Okay, and what you're being told is that x is a -2. So what we are going to do is we are going to physically take this -2 and replace the x. Make sure you still have this minus. It's still there. The x is being replaced with the -2. Okay, and whenever I plug a number in place of a variable, I always put parentheses around it. Okay, and then you can either use your calculator or do your double line rule here, and your answer is just going to be a 20. Okay, let's try it again. 14 plus 2x, your 7 is going in place of x. All right, so I have 14 plus 2 parentheses 7, and now you can do your order of ops, or you can type this into your calculator. Multiplication would come first. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 14 is 28. All right, and then last two, we've just made this a little more challenging because we have some exponents. You still really want to make sure that you're putting the number in parentheses. So this -3 is, oops, this should be a J, or that should be an X. Okay, so go ahead and fix that. Let's see, does it, oh, it's fine on yours. Mine is just wrong, so yay. Plug it in. Make sure you have parentheses. Okay, and again, if you would like, you can just type this whole thing in. Just make sure when you type it in, you actually use the parentheses. Okay, so you should get a 26. If you were doing this by hand, we would do exponents first. -3 squared is 9. Then we would multiply. 4 times 9 is 36. Then we would subtract 10, and that's where your 26 is coming from. Okay. Last one, m is 3. Again, the 3 is going in parentheses, not the -3. The negative was already there, just the number you plug in. Okay, and you can use your calculator if you would like, but make sure you leave that negative outside the parentheses because it was there originally. And we get a -18 is our answer. All right, so there you go. That's some menu math. And you want to make sure that you do your daily check-in to make sure this is going well. And of course, reach out with any questions. I hope you have a great day.